Thanks for watching my video today. Don't forget to ring the notification bell so that you can be notified when new content is available. Alright, so today is November 2nd, right? And that means that it is time, it's probably past time, to start prepping for documenting December. We launched the kits yesterday. There are still some left. If you want the 6x8 or the 12x12, go check that out in the shop. You can see those kits. You can see a video overview of both kits. And you can see on Kimberly's channel, she's going to be talking more and more about what she's doing for the 12x12s, but that's not going to go live until December, so probably, or a little bit before maybe. So I was watching some videos last night for inspiration, and today what I want to do for my 6x12 documenting December prep, I will show you what I'm going to do. Now, let me show you something really quick because I was very proud of this and I wanted you to see the real life view of it because it's just not the same if you don't see it live. I made this on Saturday. This is embossed with embossing glaze from Tim Holtz. This is the the new Villainous Potion embossing glaze. So I wanted to show that off. This is just a little picture that my from a few years ago, I don't know how many years ago, of my son at Chucktober event. He's probably like 5 there. That was like 4 years ago. And then, so I've started my album of random pictures. I'm just doing, I don't know what in this album. So this is kind of just me learning how to do 6x8 pocket page scrapbooking, and as you can see, I printed out a picture of myself to put on the very first page because, hey, why not? So that's just a 6x8, and I actually go into Canva. I have created a template for myself that has the drop-in frames that you can drop your pictures into, and then I just drop my pictures into those frames and then I print them out and cut them. So far that's what I'm doing. I've also gotten some photos printed on free prints, actually some of the same ones, probably not the Halloweens, but some of the other ones, just to see the quality because it only costs like $5 to ship it. So but this is just some fun things. And then I did one that was a Star Wars theme. So it's funny because this paper back here, this is from the Vicki Boutin mixed media pad, the 6x8 mixed media pad, which I had no clue what this was. Like, I saw it and I was like, oh cool, this is really neat paper. I'm going to use this for something. I'm going to paint on this or cut it up or something. And I realized that it's made to go as a background because she has a 12x12 version, which I think I did order. It's made to use as background paper for your scrapbook layouts. So, I mean, you can use it for whatever else too, but this pad, which I believe I still have 1 or 2 in the store, has a ton of paper, and it does repeat some of the pictures, but or some of the backgrounds, but they're so pretty and they're already done, and you don't have to get out your messy paint or anything like that. You can just already make them, use them, and that's what I did on this one. It is a, it's one that's already done, and I love the gold foiling on there, the gold accent. Let's see if I can find the actual picture, the actual one. See, it's just this one. It just looks like paint splotches. It's really pretty, and the colors worked really well. So, you know, I just went with that, and it looked really neat the way that the embossing glaze, the gold, showed up behind that. So that was one I did. And then as I was looking at it, and I was looking at doing my Star Wars theme and what I could do for that, well, I decided that if Vicki Boutin can make a splatter background, so can I. And I actually, this is a larger piece of her, actually her mixed media paper. That's just her cardstock, heavy 140-pound cardstock, comes in 12x12. And this is a background I did a long time ago, but I actually turned it over and I said, yeah, I'm just gonna get some of my watercolors and I'm gonna play, and I'm gonna make my own background. And I think it works because I was going for like this gray but not black, and then I didn't want to do red because I felt like red would be kind of feel like blood splatters. I'm not going for a blood splatter theme, so for this I was just going for Star Wars, and I think it looks kind of almost like outer space clouds or something like that. And then I used my giant Tim Holtz numbers to put the date in there. So not done obviously, but definitely fun, and I believe I still have some more photos. Actually, this one I'm gonna do bigger. That was just there for the fun of having it there, but it's not taped, it's not committed yet. I just have it down there. So that's what I have going for this album right now. This is just kind of my fun play album. And then for my documenting December album, I definitely want to do more focused things with my planned paper, which I'm gonna look and see if there's anything in here that looks like it would work, because why not? But what I really want to do is I really want to make some of my own pages today. So that's kind of what I'm thinking I'm going to do, is I'm going to get some of my Vicki Boutin paper, the 12 by 12, because I actually figured out how to, this green could work too. Let me see this. This green could work with the gold foil. So I'm actually going to figure out I figured out that you can actually cut your paper. Let me see if I have my template here. Here's my 12 by 12 paper. Somewhere in here. Okay, I did. I figured this out. See, I took a 12 by 12 sheet of paper, and I figured out how I can cut it to match the pockets in my album. Because I thought that you could just take your 12 by 12 scrapbook paper and cut it down. And sometimes you can, that's true, but you have to be very careful. This is what I figured out. You have to be very careful about the scale of the paper. So here's an example, and I don't know that this is true for everybody or every company, but let me show you this. I'm trying to find my scissors so I can actually open this up. Let me show you the difference between the 6x6 paper, 6x8 paper, and this 12 by 12 paper, which I thought, oh, I'm just going to cut it down and it'll be fine. But I was a little bit off, a little bit wrong. Check this out. Also, the colors are slightly different, but see the difference in the size of the dots, okay? So if I cut this down, okay, it'll be some big dots, right? But I feel like very specifically, let's look at something that's a little bit bigger. What is this one? Well, this is not double-sided, so we will find the Pippa with the things on it, okay? So like these, like if I put this in my pocket page versus this in my pocket page, it's gonna have a much different effect. So it might be what you're going for, it might not, but I figured out that, oh, I can cut my paper down, and then as I thought about it, I was like, I don't know if I want to cut that big paper down. I might just want to go with my small thing, which is fine because I actually have, a whole bundle of it. It comes in the thing this way. This was the other one that I thought was really, this one especially, like, check that out. Like, that would be so small, so big, and really chop off a whole lot, and you would really lose a lot if you're trying to do pockets or something like that. Here's the one it just kind of surprised me that the scale was so different. So there we go. See the difference in the scale between those two. So I just think it's important to note that if you're doing a 6x8 versus a 12 by 12. So our 12 by 12 kit does have the 12 by 12 paper, the whole collection of the Busy Sidewalks collection, versus the 6x8 does come with the smaller paper, which has gold foil on it. So you might want to get, I don't know if I have any, but I might be adding some. Look at getting the small paper to enhance the large paper, but I'm not sure that it would work the same going the opposite. But we'll see, because I have this paper and I plan to use it, for fun things. And I was watching some videos last night and getting super inspired. Okay, so the plan today, after that little thing, is to cut my large pieces of paper here down to make a couple of 6x8s so that I can actually put them in my journal. And I'm going to get a pencil. I actually don't have to measure it, but Let's make a little note here. And I can cut it first and then paint it, or I can paint it first and then cut it. What should we do? What should we do? I think for this one, I might just do the painting first. Actually, I might just cut the 6x8s because I think my journaling card size, which is the smaller pieces, I'm gonna want those to be a little more, a little bit different. I have this like specific idea in my head of what I want to do. Okay, so these are gonna be a 4x6 and a 3x4, two 3x4s for the journaling card size. And you probably will end up cutting these down from what I've seen. Like, they fit, but they don't always fit perfectly. Okay. This one I'm gonna keep. So I've got some water. And what I've got is my Distress inks, which don't have them opened yet. And my craft mat. So I thought it would be kind of fun to do something sort of like Vicki Boutin did on her paper and just kind of do some splatters and splashes with the inks that I felt matched the Busy Sidewalks collection to kind of create my own. Now, like I said, the red, I feel like sometimes that just gets to be look a little bit like Crazy Blood. But the I don't know. We'll see how it goes, okay? Because I want to just play and see what we do. I don't plan to put all these on that same page, you know. I think it's just going to be interesting. Now, I was debating if I thought speckled egg worked better than weathered wood. So, we're going to do some, you know what? Maybe I will cut it. No, maybe I won't cut it. Okay. Not for this one. We're not going to cut this one. We're going to keep it big and just play. Thinking about if I want to play with almost like a gel printing day. I could do some gel printing too. And you know, I have the I don't have it on me. I don't have the actual Distress ink or paints, but we can see. Okay, so I'm going to do a little bit of pine needles. My speckled egg, the pad is broken. Still works, it's just broken. And I'm gonna do some tattered rose. All of this is in the store, of course. Why wouldn't it be? All right. So first what I did on, let me do it on a small one. What could be fun is to do kind of like a drippy drip. Let's do some green. Drippy drips. See? The hardest part, I think, is to not make it look too like planned. So what you have to do once you do that is you have to go back and kind of, and it's harder when it's on a small thing. Go back with your ink, with your water, and just splatter it, and then grab your thing and go with some craziness. Make some fun. Make some fun things. That's what I like to do. Make it a little bit crazy. Could also just squish it. Speckled egg is quite light, but the blue in this collection is not very dark at all. So we might not be able to notice it. Let's look at the weathered wood. See how that looks. Ooh, that's got a nice, moody color to it. I like that. The plan is to make these all, you know, something that can be used as a background for a photo or a journaling card or something like that. The pink is not really going to work unless I wait until it's dry, which I'm very, very impatient, so might have a hard time doing. Maybe we want to do one that's more warm colors. All right. I hope y'all are finding this interesting. I'm just kind of playing with the colors, and like I said, these are the ones that I picked that I thought looked the most like they would work with this collection. Thought the red was a real deep red. There's a light color pink. And the distress inks work really well. They act a lot like a watercolor when you add water to them. So distress, the oxides, they do all kinds of crazy stuff, but the distress works really well. You can even just get the distress re-inkers, which I have a lot of in the store, and you can go back and you can just use those like as a liquid watercolor. All right, so it's good to stick with the warms and the cools in the same family, and try not to splatter your red on top of your green. if you're not going for that effect. If that's not the effect you're going for. And maybe give it some chance to dry in between, because, you know, otherwise it could just be a little crazy. All right, so I'm going to take this piece of, what did I do with my scissors? Bubble wrap. You might have seen me do this in a previous video. You can take your, I am going to cut this, even though I've just decided and I've got my whole thing all wet and crazy. I'm going to cut this down. I'm going to cut this to my 6x8 size so that it's easier to work on. There we go. All right, so I can do one cool and one light or dark. One cools and one warms. And because I have do my distress, that'll be really dark, of speckled egg, the re-inker. Okay, add a little bit of water to that. All right, so I'm gonna squish it in there, and then I'm gonna maybe squish it together. You guys see this? Does it look interesting? Okay. I'm kind of squishing it in and then pushing it down. So I'm not trying to really make this exactly like a Christmassy looking kind of layout. I just want something that will look look like a nice background, because I'm going to add, you know, all kinds of pictures and journaling and things. So So there's my cool colors. I'm going to cut another piece and do the same thing with my warm color. My pinks and my reds. And I thought, oh, I'll just add some water here and see what I get, what kind of look I can get with this. Because this paper is intended for watercolor. It's 140 pound. It's very, very good, good heavy paper. And the nice part is that it comes in a 12 by 12 size, so you can do backgrounds for your 12 by 12 layouts, or you can just do use it and like I did and cut it down. Cool. This is good because this way the red doesn't end up looking a lot like blood to me. I like how this is looking, even though it's kind of squished. Like, I think it has done an interesting effect. And I always like interesting. And if you choose, you can do a different type of look to it. You can try to do kind of what Vicki did on one of hers, where she did the circles, you know, and then she went back. This one looks like bubbles, like she took blew some bubbles in the paint and then, or used a straw to blow some bubbles. She's another one that just looks like squares. So it kind of just depends on what you're kind of feeling that day or what you want to do. I thought it would be good to get some pages prepped so when documenting December starts, I have already got my backgrounds done. That worked really well for me when I was doing mixed media, iCAD mixed media. I did all my cards in June, I think, or May, the month before it started. And then I went back and added all of the things on top of the backgrounds, which is pretty cool. Okay, so there we've done a couple pages. We could probably go back and add a little more of the speckled egg to this one. But I also really like how it looks. I decided I wanted to do a little bit of that lighter color. Then we've got a couple pages, and see, that's all one 12 by 12 piece of paper, and I've already got enough for two 6 by 8 pages, actually 4 if you think of them as double-sided, and then journaling cards and a 4 by 6. So, and because you're going to put a photo in some of those places or on top of some of those places. So, you know, you don't have to worry about it being exactly the right size the whole time. But, so there we go. I like what I've done. I think this looks really cool. I like these colors. Let's see. Let's hold up the paper again and see how this kind of looks together. I felt like this Tattered Rose was really a close match there. Here's some of the tags and things that kind of go with it. So, yeah. I think that looks really cute. This one I did during my tag your it. That's super cute. Those colors work really well. So, yay for me picking out the right colors. Okay. So, you know, I'll do some sort of documenting December. We'll talk about our traditions and take some pictures, and it doesn't have to be Christmas. You can do whatever you want to do in December. Not everybody does Christmas, but I thought we do have some things that we do in my family that we do as yearly traditions. So I thought it would be kind of fun to actually get into documenting that. And I'm really learning how to incorporate scrapbooking into my life and memory keeping. And after talking to my mom about how she wishes she had more history of her family, it makes me think that it's important to actually put this stuff down on paper and get the stories recorded. So that's where I'm coming from on this one, and I hope that you enjoyed my little demo today, and I hope that you'll try doing this too. And if you do, please be sure to tag me, or however you want, let me know, mention me, or send me a message on social media, and I'll be happy to feature you and show what you've done too. And I look forward to our next video. Hopefully we'll be on Facebook on Friday. So thank you so much, and I'll see you next Tuesday. Bye-bye.